So, good morning, August the 13th, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, it is.
Today,
Yeah, okay. And with me I have Rob, which is the senior producer for 2K15, NBA 2K15. I'm Lucas, PadPoet from Ski, and I'll be sitting down with him, asking him a bunch of questions about the game. So here goes. So, Rob, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You're from the US, right?
I am.
I'm Greek, but I work in London and ski, so I hope you understand everything in terms of my accent and stuff. It's totally Greek.
I was born in Greece.
Really?
Yeah, I was born in Athens.
Cool, I'm from Athens as well. Which part of Athens?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
I was only there for 3 months.
Okay, so it's been a while. Okay, so let's start with 2K15, NBA 2K15. So NBA 2K14 was a great game. Everyone was like really blown by it, especially that trailer with the Phil Collins song. I loved it. It was crazy. The graphics are still like incredible. What does 2K15 bring you? I mean, in terms of improvements, not only in graphics, it can be in animation, in facial expressions. In terms of visuals, what new things 2K15 is bringing to the table?
Well, I mean, 2K15 obviously builds upon NBA2K14, which was phenomenal. But there were areas, like in every other year, there's areas where we could improve. In the demo, for example, that we're giving today, you see that we brought back cheerleaders. You watch the cheerleaders and you'll notice that their hair animates, which is one of the first times we've ever done something like that. The mascots are back. Presentation is just phenomenal. And then as you look at the smoothness of the animations this year, we've created a game that feels a lot more human, and still maintains that graphical quality that 2K14 really set that bar for us last year. So so that's just from a graphical side. There's a lot of features that we haven't announced yet that when people hear about what we're doing, they will be extremely excited to know that 2K doesn't rest on what we've done and we're moving forward. And then we've taken our features and our modes and just created and just reestablished them and refined them and brought them to life in a different way than last year. So we're really excited of where we're bringing that. We've also expanded on the Euro League, which was really successful for us last year, by bringing an additional. We have over 20 teams this year. So last year we only had 13. So the game is just bigger than it was and way more polished than it ever has been. If you actually, we don't have our menus in here, but our menus are phenomenal. Just an overall, I don't even want to call it an upgrade. Okay. Because if you say upgrade, it's like, oh, well, it's just
it's something like a small step upwards.
And it's not. This year, game-wise, I think we took a giant step over to from a gameplay standpoint, and then presentation as well, and then the features. So 2K15 is a really exciting time for people.
Okay. So my next question is, in regards of gameplay, what new features are in 2K15?
So, we always talk, every year we seem to talk about animations. This year we put in about 5,000 new animations.
5,000.
And the reason we did it, we don't like to just do it for the sake of doing it. We wanted smoother movement, which we achieved. We achieved it not just through the animation, but through new AI that we have that drives the way the defenders determine how they want to move, where they want to stop, how they want to attack the offensive player. We have a new offensive AI system called SITTech, which is short for situational technology.
Okay. So can you describe?
I'll explain a little bit where your teammates are way more intelligent in relation to what you are doing, how plays are run. So we have team-specific sets in the game right now. So a team that runs with two bigs will run a 3-out, 2-in set, meaning they have 3 guys on the perimeter and 2 inside. But not every team does that. in old NBA 2K, we had one set that kind of ran for everybody until you ran plays. And then the other thing about it is that the system works in conjunction with your coaching strategies, so that when you're doing coaching strategies, they mesh together, so that it feels as being one unit. But there's I wish that was it. I mean, there's more responsive rebounding and blocking, and you look at fast break defense. I mean, everything has been touched, and everything that makes the game just feel so real, because the simulation part of NBA is our core component. One big thing that people see, that we've announced, that we were showing at this demo, is a new shot meter. It's a new shot system that we created, and it has a meter attached to it. The way our system used to work was that every shot had a certain percentage attached to it, in the sense that if I was shooting from 15 feet from the basket and you were all over me on defense, we looked at all of those factors, and so we started with where was I, how good am I, am I, and then all the factors, and they all would take percentages away from the chance of you scoring. And so people felt like when you shot that it was more, it was a dice roll, that because they didn't know. And you could time your shot, and if you had good timing, it affected that percentage. But that percentage was already calculated, so you were already at a certain point. So now, instead, we take all those factors in, and we create a timing window. But if you hit the timing window perfect, you always have a very high chance of scoring. So we're taking the chances and we're putting them to the user, so that if he's very, very good, his chances of being great are lifted.
Okay, makes sense. And speaking of features, all these new features, animations, experienced players must be, our fans of the game that have been following the genre for a very long time. How easy is for them to adjust, and how easy is for someone who's never played the 2K game, an NBA 2K game, to jump into 2K15 and start playing it? What's the learning curve?
There's always a little bit of a learning curve. If you've played the game this year, the game will be very, very familiar, because we didn't change much in terms of controls.
Okay.
They're very close to what you had last year. If you're a new person, every game has a little bit of a learning curve. But at its heart, basketball games should be able to be played with the left stick and two buttons, a pass and a shoot. And we provide that in NBA 2K. So I think that, there's a learning curve. I mean, I have my 5-year-old comes into my office and he's like, I want to play 2K. And, and he's not very good, but he's 5, But he can move, he can shoot. He can move, he can shoot. He just can't match up to the artificial intelligence, because it's starting to become so much better these days. So,
in terms of AI, did you improve on the engine from 2K14?
Yes. Yes,
so
a lot.
There are changes as well.
Yeah, you'll see them mostly in the defensive side, because that's a big focus for us this year. Just, I always talk about, I'll give you a perfect example. Yeah. When a guy moves in real life, you're triangulating the guy and the ball. So you're not moving very much, unless he's really running. He's either running to the ball or he's cutting to the basket.
Yeah,
it's the only time that you move really fast. If you look at 2K14, the guys are all moving. Like, as soon as the guy moves, I have to move. The guy moves, I have to move, and they move. So it feels very frantic. If you look at the game this year, you'll see how much smoother that is, because we were able to actually write in the right directives for the defensive AI to be more human-like. So it makes for a game that's a lot more balanced and smarter. And the offensive AI gets smarter every year.
Okay, so there are, as we go through this interview, there are tons of things that have improved, like animations, game modes, how AI works. Like, so I'm guessing, like you said, it's a whole new game.
It will, like I said, it's going to be familiar. Some of the modes are new within the mode. So like my career and my GM and the park and my team. Those are features that we've had. They're new features. Meaning the feature is there, but when you experience it, it's going to be different than what you experienced last year. And then this year we have also added a new mode called My League, which is it's essentially a season mode or a control season mode where you can control 1 to 30 teams, and then you can set every rule, everything that you want.
So it's like managing a team, basically.
You can manage your team, or you and your friends can manage your team.
Yeah.
And you can set all the things, all the AI choices, everything that you want, trades and injuries, anything that you want to change. You want the season to be shorter than the 82-game season, you can change that. We've made that customizable for the user. And that's something that our fans, the ones that have been around for a really, really long time, really asked us for, and so they're really happy that we brought something like that to them.
Okay, so that brings me to my next question. In regards to feedback from 2K14 and from your fans, was there any great idea you implemented in 2K15 that was a fan initiative or something that was requested from a lot of fans? Or are you thinking this for the next maybe NBA game?
No, we have to keep our ear to the ground. So the fans, this My League thing was something that our fans really, really wanted. The ones that are around forever want so much control over their experience.
That makes sense.
So we've created something for them specifically. But smaller things, we hear where things maybe didn't work, and they suggest a different way of doing it. And if we think that it's something that fits our mode, we implement it. So there's a lot of small things that go into the game that maybe were brought up by somebody posting that this didn't work the way he expected it, or he wanted to have a little bit more finite control over this thing or another. An example would be calling plays.
Okay.
In play calling, we wanted to have one type of play for every type. So like if I wanted an ISO play, pick and roll play, or a post play, so there's one on every page. But the fans wanted all of the plays of one type on one page.
Okay, I see.
So, so if I want all my isolation plays are on this page, and then when I go to the next page, it's all pick and roll plays. So, little things, they sound small, but they take time. So just picking things up.
And for the hardcore fans, those small things
are the most important.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Okay, and my last question is, 2K14 was one of the first PS4 games that came out on the console. So I'm guessing you had the test kit, a development kit before, so you had time to work. But now that you have more time and experience with the PS4, how easy is it to work with the platform? And in regards to the PS3 and the previous gen in general, has it opened up, new things you can do? Have you seen there are new things you can implement that were impossible before, let's say with PS3?
Of course. Obviously just the graphical prowess, the amount of memory that we have, it just gives us the flexibility to try so many more things that we didn't do before. An example, like I was saying before, is the cheerleaders. The cheerleaders show the animating hair. We could never animate hair. We didn't have the power to do that on the PS3. How easy are they to work with? I think that in general they've been easier to work with because Sony has learned. You can say Sony, but you can say Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. Over time, I think what they've learned is that the easier you make the platform to develop for, the better the games that you're going to get, and the quicker you're going to get them. So I think that they went out of their way to put in our hands, something that we can work with fairly simply. So we're excited about what we are doing, and there's some cool stuff coming down the pipe that when we're able to reveal that, everybody will be like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect 2K to step up even that much more.
Okay. Closing this interview, do we have a release date for 2K15?
Here in Europe, it'll come out on October 10th for PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. And on PC, for the first time ever, it will actually be running off the next generational engine. So it's going to be pretty exciting for our PC guys because, as you know, graphics on the PC usually end up looking better than the consoles do.
Yeah. But the next gen now has stepped up a lot with the console, so I'm guessing this gap is getting smaller.
Yeah, but remember, PC components change every 6 months. So.
Every 3 months, I'm guessing, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, bro.
Okay.
Thanks for having me today.
No problem. Thank you.
Take care. And are you going to visit Athens anytime soon?
You know what? I haven't been back since I was born, and it's one of the places
I think you must go.
Yep. We actually we recently hired, and this is post-interview, but we recently hired a guy that was in our fan community who is a great engineer. His name is Leftos. His nickname is Leftos.
Leftos?
Leftos. He's
Eleftherios. Eleftherios. Yeah. Eleftherios. Yeah.
Yep. And he works with us, and he is a character.
So a great guy in 2K. That's it.
But a very passionate one. And he's a fan of my home team. He's a fan of Detroit.
Okay. Okay. Thanks again.
All right. You're
Thanks
welcome.
for the day. Bye-bye.